Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, or welcome to the first show. If this is the first one you're listening to, it is the CU Spotlight live or recorded at the Synergent Connect Conference 2026, downtown Portland, Maine. We are at the Eastland Westin Hotel. We're going east, west, north, south, all directions today. I am your host, Jonathan Taylor, JT with CU Spotlight. To my right is my co-host,
Shirley Senn with Fireman's Federal Credit Union.
Hey, Shirley. Thank you for making the long trip up to Maine.
It has been a pleasure to be with you, Mainers.
Absolutely. Maine. Yeah, we got to lose that R.
Wicked smart.
Wicked smarts. Thanks to Synergent, by the way, for sponsoring this and all the podcasts, making this happen, and just being such wonderful hosts in a killer QSO.
They are killer QSO.
Killer QSO. So with us is our next guest. We have Raymond Mayhew at Maine Savings FCU. And I will let you say your position again because I know what it is, but it's long and I don't want to screw it up. So go ahead.
Raymond Mayhew, Vice President of IT Operations.
Thank you very much. So all things that plug in everywhere or nowhere, depending on if it's cloud, right? Welcome. And you have been at the credit union now, you said 25 years?
25 years this year.
25 years. Unbelievable. Well, thank you for your service to the movement, and thank you for coming on the show today. So is this your first time here at this conference?
No, this is my third year in a row.
Wonderful. How's it going so far?
Very good.
Yeah. How has there been, it's part of what I love about this conference is that right out of the gate at the beginning, they're like, okay, let's have a meeting for just us, right? For our owners, for our users, for us. Let's really huddle up. Let's do some roundtables. Let's get super honest. Let's get super vulnerable. Let's get some feedback. Let's talk about some stuff. Were you part of that?
Yes, and that's an area that I'm very passionate about. I believe in the credit union movement, people helping people, and credit unions have this unique ability of credit unions helping other credit unions. So anytime there's a user group, I am all for it. Or if there's a community or a forum, I jump right in at that aspect to learn. You can hear from vendors, you can hear from salespeople, but you want to get the real thing.
Sure.
And that comes from the real people who deal with it day in and day out.
Well, and I think the having that genuine opinion is important, right? There's real trust there, but also hearing it in a language, in a dialect that you live every single day, I think can be really, really helpful, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what were some interesting insights? Was there a useful piece that you're going to take back?
I'm really encouraged by how they're looking at doing basically the roadmap, getting our opinions on enhancements, getting our which enhancements should be elevated first, which ones are going to be for the best use of their time to help us be able to help our members.
I love that. So not just what are the things we should do, what order should we do them in based on your immediate needs?
Correct.
That's great.
I love the fact that these are the kinds of environments where it doesn't matter about the asset size of the credit union. It's very interesting to hear that you may have a small credit union, growing credit union that is addressing an issue in here or found a solution, and there's a large credit union that said, I never thought of that. So it really levels the playing field of getting away from assets and looking more at needs and challenges and solutions that benefit the whole group.
And the solutions are the same for every credit union, but how we look at them and how we apply them to our members vary just slightly or can vary. But to get a perspective or through that person's integration or their implementation, they've learned a lesson that I don't have to relearn that lesson. I can get ahead of the game and get that implemented faster or quicker.
Right. Now, my gosh, 25 years. I bet that went quick, didn't it?
Yes.
Let's take it back real quick. Your first year in the credit union, what was the big What was the big change initiative that you were in charge of kind of doing? Do you remember? What were in those early years?
Yes. So I remember it very vividly.
Okay.
Because I was hired in February of 2001, and it was actually Barco Federal Credit Union.
Okay.
And in September of that year is when we changed our name to Maine Savings.
Interesting.
So I remember getting my first Barco shirt, but then also being told we're changing our name here in a few months.
What was Barco? What was that?
So our roots are from the Bangor and Aroostook Railroad Company.
Got it.
That's where Barco came from.
Cool.
That was our seg. That was where our roots are. But we wanted to be for all Mainers, and that's what our mission is today, is leading Maine. We're here for Mainers.
I love it. And, if I can just say from just a marketing branding standpoint, even though we love our credit unions and we love the name credit union, it doesn't always resonate in the way that we would hope it would. And in a lot of cases, people are like, well, I can't join that, right? I can't, that's for this over here. Or they don't like the word credit because they're intimidated, or they don't like the word union because of politics or what have you. You guys, from a branding standpoint, I think we're one of the first credit unions where you rebranded to Maine Savings, right?
Correct.
It was just Maine Savings. On everything else, it's Maine Savings Federal Credit Union. We all know you're still a credit union, but you leaned in early from a marketing standpoint on just saying, this is who we are. We'll tell you once you come in the door, but don't worry about some of the things that I think, unfortunately, I don't want to say it's a stigma with the name, but you know what I mean? Like credit union, I think the word itself has changed, and it's not always, it doesn't land like we hope it would. It's almost like we've talked a lot, Shirley, about financial cooperative, right? How that lands stronger than credit union. You guys, I think, were one of the first ones to say, you know what? And maybe, was it because you kind of got that concept, or?
Yes, very much that concept. And also credit unions, the word credit unions, people didn't think you could go to a credit union and get a mortgage.
Right.
You couldn't go and do a business loan or a small business loan. And that was part of the strategy around Maine Savings, was you can come to a credit union and get a mortgage, and you can do a small to a very large business.
Sure.
And now that credit union movement, the consumers don't have as much stigma against that. They know that they can just go to their trusted partner and get the financial needs that they need solved.
Yeah, 100%. It reminds me of one of my previous, co-founders in one of my CUSOs, where he had this saying. He goes, I don't care how the cake is baked. Does it taste like chocolate? Is it yummy? Am I going to like it? Okay, good. And that's essentially, that's what I remember. They don't care about, the history is nice, but they don't care about the how it's built at the end. It's how can you help me improve my life?
Correct.
Right? So I love that you guys did that. I applaud that.
Except for the fact, I would think sometimes, because I've seen this with other credit unions, that you've got to be very clear in the message of, like what you said, the savings is the grounding. But when you see a lot of these names of ABC Financial, the immediate thought is a bank.
Yeah.
And so are we, what is the message being said? And I love the fact that you can use something like savings, because that could be leading to savings bank, but credit union also is built upon those transactions and savings accounts, and we can earn your trust from that perspective, and then everything else comes. Because I think you're right. When you think about savings, you're not just limited to thinking about, they just do credit. Or they don't do credit. Or it's not stigmatizing, like you said.
Sure. So 25 years ago, you were working servers on-prem, maybe you still are, but servers on-prem, clunky, disparate systems, nothing kind of talked together, right? A lot of manual reports, all the way up till now. You, as a credit union, you guys have spun off CUSOs. You've done lots of different stuff, which I'm sure has added layers of complexity. You could say job security, right, for you, Raymond?
Yes.
Talk about that evolution a little bit, and if you could touch on what are some of the new challenges that either you're excited about or you're worried about.
History would be more of the So John Reed, our previous CEO, he's the one who started the QSO home lending.
Yes.
And that was in 1993, a byproduct of that. So that was part of the introduction of QSOs. And now it has been, as we've matured, as things have moved to the cloud, when the cloud was first talked about, everybody was like, we can't move our data to the cloud.
Sure.
And now it's critical that it's there.
Sure.
You can't have the infrastructure or pay for the infrastructure with technology. And then you have the new one is AI.
Sure.
And how do you adopt it? How do you do it? And having those conversations not only with member education, but also internal members, our employees, helping them navigate those challenges and those opportunities as well.
Sure. What's for you personally, it may not necessarily be how the credit union's deploying it, but for you personally, what do you think for credit unions is the crawl, walk, run when it comes to AI? Knowing that education's a big part of it, understanding's a big part of it, security's a big part of it. What's your opinion?
I'm a firm believer that you have to use it to know it.
Yeah.
You can come to a conference. I've been going to conferences for the last 4 or 5 years talking about AI, but until you touch it, till you can see what it can do for you, and try different strategies around it, then you can take those and apply it to a little bit bigger, to the next thing where you're no longer crawling, but you're starting to walk a little bit.
Sure.
It's something that now is just a part of every day of my life. I think I use Copilot every single day. I'm doing something, and then being able to share that with a colleague or with someone else so that they can also enhance their experience.
Those use cases, I think, are so massive. So is Copilot, is that where Maine Savings is really starting their journey?
Yes, that's the one that we use Microsoft 365.
Yep.
And so that comes with the suite of products. And so that's the one that we've said, hey, we will adopt this one and kind of look and see what goes with it.
I love that. Well, we have a very big fan of AI right over here.
Just learning how to spell it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, my background's a little bit different. I started in the early 90s. And so it was just watching all this transition of the change in technology, of course, Y2K and getting off of DOS and things. And things are just moving so much quicker. When we used to have, a year or 2 years to accommodate for a change, and now it's got to be done like this.
Yeah.
Making sure that even if you're 25 years or 35 years in the movement, that, relevancy is all about embracing the technology, but also learning you've got to keep up with it.
Yeah. Yeah. We do once a week at Bank Social QSO. We'll literally we have a Friday show and tell, basically, where everybody in the organization can share something that they're working on, or in a big part of it lately is who figured something out cool with AI this week, who solved the problem, and then sharing that with everybody else. And it's become a really fun part of the week because, people go and they're like, oh my God, guys, check this out. And you're like, I had no idea I could do that. And you're like, oh my God, that's going to save me so much time.
From the perspective of what you do, have you had any challenges from internal staff as well as expectations from the members of what they want to see in AI versus maybe what's coming?
I think we're still in the early stages, so it's still understanding. I recently had one leader was like, well, I like AI and I run it through, but I don't want it to look like it's not me.
Sure.
And I'm like, but that's why you got to continue to use it, because when you use it, it learns you. When you build it, it's learning you. And I've used it so much now that at first when I was using it, I was like, okay, I've got to tweak this. And then finally now I say, okay, I write it, rewrite this, or give me this thing. And it knows me enough to, now it sounds like me. And I'm like, have you read my emails? Does it sound like me? Yeah. Well, guess what? That was the AI.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Now, as a credit union, what we've seen, because you're right, for the first 3 years, 4 years at these conferences, it was just more like, here's what it is, but it was this big amoebus, not unlike cloud computing, right? Not unlike a lot of stuff. Now, DeFi, blockchain, there's a lot of these buzzwords that just take a while for folks to kind of conceptualize. Once you get to the point where you can start to say, here's an AI tool that can do this, and this is what it's going to help you for, like figuring out those use cases. But a lot of credit unions now are going, okay, we're going to use AI internally first to help us be more efficient. And some people are afraid they're going to lose their jobs. It's like, no. There's plenty to do that we don't have time to get to right now, right? We just want to solve for the things that nobody wants to do anyway, but they have to do, tracking insurance or, whatever it is. And so that seems to be where most of the credit unions are starting. How can we use it to help ourselves? And then we'll get to the outward facing, AI chatbots, things like that. Is that kind of the thought thread for you guys too?
I would say yes. Just the fact that, interest rates are rising. So that means it's reduced earnings. So you have to look at how you are looking at your operational costs. Sure. So how can I do more with less? And you have to use the tools, whether it's with a core, your other applications that you have, what do they already have that provides some of that operational efficiency, or using things like AI to, this email that would take me, go back to business writing, you would throw your brainstorm, then you would rewrite and then rewrite. Well, AI can do that now in the matter of seconds of 100%. Rewriting and have a professional draft ready for a memo or to out to marketing to our members. The research that it needs for what is the market trends. You're instead of taking hours of researching it, you can get that at your fingertips and then analyze it really quickly.
It's huge. Let's pivot real quick to your relationship with Synergent as one of your CUSOs that you guys work with. How has that evolved over the 25 years? When did you guys partner with Synergent? Do you remember?
I do remember. I was part of that conversion. I remember that very well.
Let's talk about it.
That was in 2006 is when we officially converted over. So we've been with Synergent for 20 years now. Wow. So we've definitely used, which I'm very thankful for. I've not had to do a lot of core conversions in my 25 years.
Knock on wood.
A lot of people say, oh, we go through core conversions a lot. I've done one. So
Why do you think that is? I mean, 20 years is a long time to be with the same provider.
It's about forming partnerships. And it's my mantra. Sure. I have that question a lot of times with, especially new relationships and new vendors. Are you looking to be a partner with me? And what does a partnership look like? Or is this going to be a vendor? Yeah. And if you're going to be a vendor, I'm going to treat you like a vendor.
Sure. If
you're going to be a partner, we're going to treat you like a partner. It's just something that I've lived by. Yeah. And Synergent has been no different in that. It's like truly finding that partnership of, how can you help me? How can we help you? Yeah. And grow together in a partnership.
Oh my God, we've seen that. I mean, having been at the Maine Credit Union League Insurance Trust, now CU Insurance Solutions, for a decade of my life, I was saying it earlier, it's crazy to see how much Synergent has grown and where they are now. How many credit unions? I mean, we've got credit unions coming in from all over. 10 years ago, credit union from Georgia? Like, really? So that's wild. But then seeing so many of my credit union friends from Maine, where I'm like, oh my God, they're at 235. I remember when they were 38. You know what I mean? It's just wild to see the growth. And you folks now, how big are you asset wise?
We're a little over 850 million.
850 million. Yeah. And I remember, gosh, I think when I started, you guys were 250 maybe, back in 07-ish.
I would say that's correct. Yeah. I remember it being 30 something employees to now we're 108, almost 180.
Yeah. And I mean, part of it has to be how you guys have leveraged your partnerships with your CUSOs.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, it's really neat to see. I'm just walking around with pride, going, oh my God, this is so cool. And this is all done in Maine. I had no idea that they were 1971. That's before Valera, by the way.
It was.
That's before Valera.
When you were doing your math yesterday, I was like, you're definitely a marketing person.
I was doing bad math. I was doing some bad math. But you know, it's because Valera, and I love them, right? You know, shout out to everybody over there. But they love to say that they were the first QSO. They throw that out there. And I'm like, no, you were 78. Synergent's got you beat by 7 years, you know? So it's really cool to see how far this has gone.
That was before you were born.
78.
71.
71 and 78, yes. Barely on 78, though. I am a 70s baby, but October of 79, so just made it. At least I'm not a millennial, you guys. So if somebody wanted to reach out, I mean, you 25 years, you've got a wealth of knowledge. I know you guys love to collaborate with other credit unions and help out. If somebody wanted to pick your brain in the credit union space, or, you know, they wanted, maybe they were vetting Synergent, right, as a potential partner, how would they reach out to you? How would they connect?
For me, I think everybody knows who I am at Synergent. And then, not that you can see this on video, but, you know, I'm known for being bright colored and all that stuff.
He's very bright colored. Yes. I love it. You're the best. You can see this man from space, I think, right now. So,
I love it.
Well, really, really appreciate you coming on. Maine Savings, is it mainsavings.org? Is that the website?
Mainsavings.com.
Mainsavings.com. Great. So people can go and check out all the great stuff you guys are doing there. Thank you for all the work you do. We appreciate you keeping your members safe. I know that is not a easy task, and I know it's a full-time job. So appreciate what you do. I'd love to come see you up in Hamden at some point. So
Thank you. Next
time I'm up that way. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you, Shirley, as always, for being on this journey with us here. And folks, thank you for sticking with us at CU Spotlight. As I always say, we all suffer from the same thing in the movement, which is a crisis of awareness. So please share this out with somebody that needs to hear it. Let's keep this thing cooperative, and let's keep the movement moving.
And thank you again to Synergent for sponsoring the podcast. And since this is coming almost to the close of day 2, I think it would be nice to acknowledge those that help sponsor everyone here. Just looking at the list here. And
absolutely.
We've got the Diamond sponsors, Systems Engineering, Platinum sponsors, Access Softech and Pinnacle Financial Strategies, Gold sponsor, Halcyon and IMS Inc., Silver is Continuous and Tricor Federal Credit Union, and then our bronze is Origins and Jack Henry, Campio, Advanced Fraud Solutions, CU Insurance Solutions, which used to be the Maine Sharon
Credit Union League Insurance Trust. MCULIT.
Smith Wilkinson, Deerbrook, the Federal Reserve, and Sync Systems. Thank you to all of you to making this experience an unforgettable one.
It was great. It was great. And we've got a lobster bake next.
Yes.
You sticking around for that, Raymond?
I am.
Good. We never turn down lobster here.
No.
Even though we can get it easily, you still don't turn it down.
I'm going to claw myself to the front.
You are. Yeah. Well, hopefully you can get a couple claws up there. So, folks, we appreciate you. Until next time, we will see you on the flip side. Take care.